2A, Red Class, Unit 4. Today is March the 13th, my older son's birthday. It's 10, a couple of digits. Nonetheless, here we go. Let's put down a learning target. What is it that you should be able to do? You're writing this on your notebook paper. That notebook paper you can write front and back. When it's time for you to need an extra sheet so you run out of space, there'll be some on the back table. Learning target. What should they be able to do by the time this lesson is done? Learning targets are written as I can do it. So here it comes. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. And so eventually we'll try and do, maybe next class we can do a magic trick that involves this black table. I don't know how the assessment's going to write it, but I know what I want you to be able to do by the end of the period. I can solve, here's a big word, exponential equations. So there's addition, subtraction equations, there's multiplication, division equations. Today you are stepping up to the next level of equation. If you can do what we can do today, you're going to be kind of head and shoulders above most students in this center. Now, some of us, we're special because we can sing, we can draw. If you need a reason to be special, math is one of the easiest places to get it because most people can't do it. And then for those who can, they don't get to the level that you're about to do today. Now, it's not going to be super hard, but most students can't. So if you learn what I'm teaching you today, boom, you are special because you can do something that at least probably 80% of the people can't do. I'm even going to write in using logarithms, using the first, this is one of the few times that we generally don't write out so much that even my spelling, log, sheesh, is it on this paper? Yeah, logarithms. We don't have to spell it much, we just use the word log. There's your new word. If you had a highlighter, I'd want you to highlight that one and this one. Those are the two new things that some of you are going to look at, like the logarithms, what are they? And again, my goal is to be able to make sure they can do it even if they're not quite sure why. All right, here we go. Let's step into the pool bit by bit. Some good writing. All right, come on in, sign on in. Grab the two sheets off the back table, write what's on the board. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start with this problem that I've been debating, and I'm going to see if it was a mistake. The other class, they'll get the benefits of how confused you are. Here we go. Here's a math problem. Example. It's an equation we're going to solve. The equation is 9 equals dB. We're going to use the S for an X. But it's decibels, the amount of sound that your speaker puts out. You hear some cars rattling, you know, the boom, boom, and then the back is rattling. That's how many dBs. You know, they probably shouldn't have it up that loud if it's going to rattle. Divided by 10. Okay. Here's what I want you to write. Before we go ahead and solve this problem, on the side, there's something that we need to do. The first thing we need to do to solve this problem is to blank. Please do blank. Like, think to yourself, okay, if I were solving this division problem, dB divided by 10 equals 9, how would I solve this problem? How would I get the dB alone? What would I do? Don't say it out loud. What I want you to do over here is kind of write down what you would do. Like, what's the first step? And my hint is going to be to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. I'm going to write down one of those words to solve this problem. Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Write that right next door to it. Because right now my goal isn't, hey, can I get the answers? Like, what do you think the first step is? In about a few seconds, I'm going to ask if somebody wrote in there. And then we'll do it. Now, I'm choosing this problem specifically. Later on, you all are going to see something similar to this and be like, ooh, that's why you chose that first. But for now, all right, here it goes. Hey, can someone tell me what we should put in here? What's the, we should do? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. To start to solve this one. Multiply is the correct answer. Because this problem starts off with someone dividing by 10, to get the answer, you have to do what is called the opposite. Actually, there's a math word which can I may use the latter. I'm going to decide whether I use the math word or not. Anybody know what the math word for opposite is? It starts with the letter I. You do the opposite. You. I heard it over there somewhere. Say it again. Inverse is the word. So here's what I want you to write down. Multiply. Below multiply, I want you to write down in parentheses. Inverse. That's the big deal today. We're going to be doing some inverses. So I'm going to start you off with ones that you know. We're going to solve this problem. Start you off with some ones you know, and then eventually we'll step into the pool. Let's see if we can do this in some minutes, and then get to that handout that I gave you that has baby problems, but let's see if we can do it. All right, so, hey, Thomas, do the inverse. When you solve problems on your notes, you never do two steps on one line. You always rewrite and do that first step on the next line. So please rewrite with me. I wish you had a different color because I'm about to do something in a different color. Now, this problem on the board isn't the big deal. This is just a reminder from 7th, 8th grade. You start solving equations. Because I'm dividing 10, what am I going to multiply on both sides? Now we can just say the answer out loud. Anybody know what I'm going to multiply on both sides? So again, 9 is a good choice. 9 is a good choice, but it's not going to be the one this time. So to get rid to isolate the dv, to get the dv alone, in high school, some of you know about isolating. You've seen it before. A group of friends are together, and then one does something wrong, then the others isolate that one. They turn their back on it. Now they're just wandering around the hallway on their own, trying to make new friends, they're trying to decide. Hopefully none of you have done that before, but if you've seen it, it's a sad thing. I used to be a junior high teacher, and I've seen it. So we're going to multiply the 10 on both sides. Marshana got isolated. Oh, I feel so bad for Marshana. And then after the Mean Girls decided it was enough, then they accepted her back in. But I thought Marshall was going to reject her. I'm like, no, you guys just treated me wrong. You isolated me like a DB. And then from there, when they accepted her back, you know what she did? She went right on back and started being mean to others. In any case, that has nothing to do with this math problem, other than the isolation. In other words, the 10s cancel. So you can hear it one time, and I'll say cancel from there. Cancel just means 10 divided by 10 is 1, and 1 times anything is just simply itself. We say cancel as if they disappear, but they don't really. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 times anything that thing itself. So let's see if we have an answer here. dv. Normally we don't use 2 letters when we're solving an equation, but because they're going to do it, I'm doing it so that when you see it later on, you're like, oh yeah, I've seen dv before. Right, in my old class, I didn't do it. What? Is it D and a B? No, it's just one thing, decibels for your ears. Someone please tell me what 10 times 9 is? 90, there it is. Take a look at this. This is old school. See if anything feels weird. This is the answer. What number, when you divide it by 10, gives you a 9? Oh, it's the number 90. No big deal. So that's step 1, taking you way back. Let's do another one. This time let's use the number 5. Yeah, let's use the number 5. Let's do example 2. Example 2. Let's do... sure, so it's not so easy. Please write down this problem for example 2. Write it down. It's not supposed to be hard. Inside the parenthesis again, I want you to write down the inverse, now that we use that word. Please actually write down what, so you're going to write what you see. And again, write down what the inverse will be. In other words, before we solve this problem, 5 is being our, yeah, I'll say, 5 is being added to a number. Gives us a 32. Don't say it out loud yet. Just right here. What's the inverse? What's the opposite of that thing that I'm going to do to solve for x? Because eventually, there's going to be one of these parentheses where it's the new thing, and you're like, what do I do? All right, get ready. I'm asking for it. I'm easing you in right now, so right now you shouldn't be super confused or anything. You should be like, whatever, it's just math. Then I'll get to the part where you need those calculators. All right, here it comes. Hey, somebody said a lot different than the first person who said it. What's the inverse here? What's the opposite thing I'm going to do? Okay, yes, you should be okay. No big deal. I'm purposefully going backwards so that when we do these new problems, It's the same thing. We're trying to get the x alone. Okay. So go ahead and do it. Again, I'm going to ask you just these first few times to rewrite the problem. You never do two steps on the same line. I'll do one more of these old ones so you can feel okay. And after that last old one, then I'm going to take you to the new ones where we'll see how you feel. That's what I know, 30, 30, 35. 27? Alright. Our calculator says 27, so I'll go with it. Oops. Alright, we'll do one more of these, that way you can see, like, okay, teacher thought it through. We solved this equation. X is the, 27 is the solution. In this case, we use the real word solution. Hey, what do you mean solution? Solution just means, hey, what's the number I can put in the place of X so that if we worked it out, it would make a true statement. Solution. Solution. Alright, let's get one more easy one, and then from there we'll go to yeah, you're gonna slow up with it. Go, go, go. Alright, now here we go. Example 3, the last of the easies before we switch it over to the next level. Example 3, we just did one of those. Yeah, here we go. Let's do this one. So he can look a lot like, alright, see what they right there. Here we go. 5x. Let's make it, sure. No, I'm not 1995. Alright, this is the last of the old ones. Go ahead and here, write what the inverse is of what we need is 5 times a number. We need to do the inverse of that. For the purpose of what I'm trying to do, yes, once things get going, eventually won't happen. This is just easier so that, one, you get used to what this idea is. That the inverse means the opposite. Figure out what the opposite will be. These are old ones that you've seen a long time ago. The next one is going to be the new one where if you know the inverse of the next one, I'm impressed by you. Alright, they're writing an inverse because it's kind of easy. Hey, someone who hasn't answered, please tell me what the inverse is. Right here, we're multiplying by 5. What is the inverse? Yeah, divide. Everybody's cool. Everybody feels good. Let's write down the inverse. Inverse just means opposite. I'll do the work on this one, and then the new one. So this is old-fashioned math. What do you do one side of an equation? You must do to the other side. You wind up with this x equals something. It's a big number. I chose a big number so that at least you have to think about it with your calculator. You can punch it in. No, that's something on the calculator. This one's obvious. Big number divided by small number. But there's some people on their calculator where if the 5 were on top and the 95 were on the bottom, it would still punch in the 95 first. Big number divided by the small. But for you all, you should always know top divided by bottom. You'll never punch in the bottom number first. If you do, something bad will happen to you. You may walk out to the street and get hit by a car. It's possible. I mean, but then again, all right, here we go. That's just to wake up 2 people who are like asleep, like, car accident. What just happened? All right, someone say what that number is. 95 divided by 5, please. 19. The power of calculators. There's some people without a calculator. They can't get that right in high school. Alright, let's get to the next level. This next level, I'm going to see if I can actually put it on the same page so that somebody can be like, huh, what just happened there? So here we go, let's move that up. Here's the new stuff. Here's the part where he was trying to get us to. As a math teacher, one, he wants us to feel good, not confused initially. And here it comes. That same 5x, let's make it now 5. Oh, shoot. And yeah, I'll change the numbers a little bit. Fix this. Fix it. Alright, no, alright. I broke a little bit with that one, but I'm going to do it again. Dang it. Oh, I broke it. You guys have erasers? Yeah. Those who don't have erasers. Those who don't have erasers, I want to fix it. I broke it a little bit, and here it comes. That 95 was supposed to be a 25. Eraser people, we're just going to erase the 95 and make it a 25. So really it's just the 9 you're erasing. Yeah. It's just going to switch to, there's a reason I need it to be a 25. If you have an eraser, If you don't have an eraser, yeah, you can scratch it out with a pen. Yeah, and the whole world of math will be mad at you. I even got some erasers. Divide is opposite of multiply, so divide is a good choice. Say that again. This is saying if I were to take 5 to the second, to what power? How would I get a 25? The answer is 2. Some people can see it. Square root is a possibility. If we did the square root of 25, that would get us a 5. So here's what I'll say. All those answers are good. The real answer is this. If there's an x floating up high, it's in the exponent. The inverse that you'll say to your new math teacher, "Hey, that's smart," will be log or logarithm. Now, I'm going to write the short version because that's what we're going to write, and then below it I'll put the long version. So start out by writing the word log. Usually we write it like with that cursive L, but if you just put L-O-G, like a regular L, that's fine. Log is the thing that's going to help you get the answer. Now it's going to get her that 2 because it's obvious, but on the sheet that we're about to do problems on, they're not going to make them obvious, so you're actually going to have to use the calculator. I'll write out the whole word just one time. Again, log, is it R-I? Logarithm is the opposite of x being in the exponent. What does it mean? Whatever. I'm not trying to get you what it means. I just want to get you when it's time to get this answer. You know the word's going to be log. Another way to think about it will be this. If you had a balloon in the air and your balloon had an x on it, and you didn't want your balloon to fly away, you could tie a log onto the balloon and then set that thing down. Your balloon doesn't fly away. Okay. Log is what you tie onto an x floating in the sky. All right, Thomas, you said it. Help me get the answer. So they say, that's it. And I'll say, yeah, that's it. There's standard 3 and standard 1. Or there's standard 3 and standard 1. Now, when it gets to the test, you know they're going to make it way harder than this. So let's start off. So here we go. Give them the answer so they can see. Oh, calculators. Find out the LOG in your calculator. Then someone say out loud where the LOG is. Log. It's next to 7. Next to 7. To the left of 7? All right. If you see the number 7, look to the left of it. You're going to need that log button. And in the end, it is kind of a division problem. Whoever said division, I'm going to show you shortcut. Nah, I'll do the shortcut. All right. So here it comes. Step 1. Rewrite this guy. Here comes. There's 25. I'm going to give him a little space. I'm going to write the word log. Hey, remember up here, to get the 5 out, we divided 5 on this side. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. Here it comes. This is it. This is what I was trying to get to. To get the x down, you have to write the word log in front of the 5x. Log is like a ladder. The x is going to be able to climb down and stand right in front of log when it's fine. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side. I wish you had a highlighter or a red pen to show that it's the log that you're writing in. What does log mean? Don't worry about what it means. Just do. Because here's what's going to happen now. This x up here is going to be able to climb down right in front of the log. In other words, our goal is to get the x from floating up high to ground level. Once it's on ground level, we get to do some familiar stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. Next line down, there's too much stuff going on. I wish I could show it in such a way. Maybe put this x down in front. There's the log 5 that was there. There's the log 25. So for those who get confused already, let me just see what happened. We wrote the word log in front of the original problem. And we took the x from high and put it in front. These are the steps you're going to do a million times over and over. Write log in front, x comes down. Right log in front, x comes down. This is standard 3 and standard 1. There are only 3 standards, so right now you already passed more than half of your test, and you just started. All right, here goes. Hey, but did we get the answer yet? You have solved an equation once the letter x is alone. So how do I get rid of x times? Ooh, yeah, let's see if someone says this. X times log 5. What's the inverse of multiplying? And division we did at the beginning. So here comes the grand finale. I'm going to write one more line. Hey, why does he write one more line? We could just write under there. Because when you write notes, you never write 2 things on the same line. X came down. Okay, he has that. On the next line, I'm going to ask you to write with me this time. It's not something you're doing by yourself. I just rewrote this line. I didn't do anything so that I could do this. Hey, Thomas, get the x alone. It's being multiplied times this log 5, so you have to divide. Yeah, for the wrong reason. But you didn't have log in it. You know what I'm going to show the shortcut this one. I'm going to show the shortcut. But it's going to confuse people, and then I'm going to be mad that I tried. So here, anything times itself cancels out, leaving just the x by itself. Yeah, it's too long, Dan. Yeah, I am going to do it. And now I need somebody's help. I need everybody. This one I'm going to run those in your calculators. You need to punch log log 25 divided by log. Oops, something's wrong. 5. I made a mistake. I'm fixing the mistake. Look at the mistake. I put this 25 here. I made a mistake. Yeah, it should be log, the green guy, log 5. I made a mistake. So everybody do me a favor. Punch in, oh, this is long. I am going to do the shortcut version. At least I know why I did it. Alright. Once you get the answer, turn it around. I want to come around and see it on your calculator. I need to see log. Log 25 divided by log 5. Once you have it, show it to me. Red guy divided by the green guy. Do this if you're 25, close that parenthesis off of the 25 because it looks like it's going to mess up if you don't close the calculator. Alright, so I did the long version. I'm going to do the short version of this, and then you will see, we'll do a bunch of short versions. Alright, calculator here. Some of you are not, yeah, punch that again, punch it in, punch it in. Okay, see. On that 25, please put the parenthesis after it. This is the parenthesis after it, so I see it. Oh, put the 25 guy on top. Calculator, 1. Alright, I see it, I see it. So it is 2, it is 2. You're doing red divided by green, red divided by green. I see it, I see it. Take a look at it if someone's next door to you. I see it. So this is the long version. Long version. I'll redo this problem, the short version. You never do the short version first because the students will never know about the long version. What did X give us on this one? Alright. So here comes the question you were being asked. Hey, what number do I need to raise 5 to so that it will equal to 25? Oh, 5 raised to the second power equals 25. And I'm not going to make them all that easy. Look at this long work. Right, you do the shortcut version. Here comes the shortcut version. Sometimes we'll still need the long one, but here comes the shortcut version. I'm going to write the same problem down and then show the pattern. X4 again. Sorry about this. Here it comes. Then we'll do a couple of those off that new page. They were just introducing it. Next class we're going to get deeper into it, but watch this. 5 raised to the x equals 25. This is the problem we just had. Write this one down. I'm going to do the shortcut version. I'm going to run the risk of messing you up. Here it comes. If x is up high, just like someone else said, it kind of looks like this problem, doesn't it? And if we were doing this problem, could we just get the answer? Couldn't we just get the answer by doing the x and doing 25 divided by the 5? That's what we said last time. Okay. Well, here's the part, the shortcut. We're going to do this one just like this with a division. The only thing we're going to add is once we have it in divided form, we'll put the word log on the top and the bottom. We win. What is he talking about? In other words, he's going to divide. Let's see if I can move this kind out of the way. He's going to divide the 5 on both sides, which is it's going to be wrong because it's an exponent, but he's going to divide the 5 on both sides. He's going to be left with x equals the 25 over the 5. This is a shortcut. And here's the only thing I'm going to add. 2 green logs. 2 green logs. I'm going to write the word log here on the top and log here on the bottom. So what's the shortcut? If it's an exponent,
But did you say that?
in the sense that here's the super long version. And here's all the stuff you're supposed to do. Step 1, you write log, which is the letter, and the x comes down. Step 2 divides this big log 5 under the log 25. But notice how the problem ends. The problem ends with an x equals the number that was over here divided by the number that was over here. The only difference is that word log is in front of them. In other words, the shortcut that I'm showing you is not the official way you're supposed to do it. But because it ends up that way, I'm going to tell the shortcut version, because there's some students who, with all of this, by the time they get down to this part here, stuff's going to be all over the place. So, let me back up again to this short version. Technically, no, it's not a division problem. So I know that I'm saying that's wrong. Divide, divide. What fixes that? If I write the word log in front of each one of them. And now you're at the end already. Step 1, step 2, the end. So let's do an official one using the shortcut version. And then when we get to some ugly ones, you'll see why we have to use the long version. So there you go. First one that's on your actual sheet, using the shortcut version. And again, we know that this one wound up being x equals 2. I'm going to be coming to check mark. Now, my thought was I could try and have them squeeze the work in here, or I could just have them write it on regular notebook paper. Some of you are running out of space. I'm going to give you a chance to grab another sheet from the back. But the idea will be you'll put in your final answer here so that this in the notebook paper could be 2 pages. When you're trying your 6 pages, it could be 2 pages, like a little bonus for me to you for taking notes. So what does he want them to do? Problem number 1. I'll do the shortcut version of it, and then I'll have you do problem number 2, the shortcut version. Okay, I want to do one more shortcut version so that it's clear. So he's doing problem number 1 on, what is this handout called? I'm going to call this, I don't know what to call this one. I don't know. That's not handout. Handout, I'll say handout CUDA. All right. Problem number 1, here comes. 3 to the b equals 17. Here comes the shortcut version. So you can feel like that's it. I'm like, yeah, that's it. Step 1, I'm going to rewrite it for those who are at home so that I don't have 2 steps on one. Can someone tell me what number I'm going to divide on both sides?
3.
Yeah, 3. The number connected to the exponent gets divided on both sides. What am I going to add in on the right-hand side so I can do this? Logs. 2 green logs. I'm going to just squeeze mine in. And then just punch it to the calculator and I'm done. This is the new stuff. Alright, so I'm going to be left with a b. In other words, what number do I raise 3 to the power? What power do I raise 3 so that it will give me a 17? Well, we know 3 to the second power, that's 3 times 3, that's 9. 3 to the third power, that's 3 times 3 times 3, that's 27. There has to be a decimal. 2.57. Now everybody punch that in to have it. I'm going to pause here to see if there will be questions. Now, if you didn't punch that into... Where'd you get this? Where'd you get that? All right, problem number 2. People are going to be like, all right, you think that's so easy, so let's add a little flavor to it. Do me a favor, put a big star next to number 9. Not a big star, put a star next to number 9. 9 is kind of the level that eventually we'll get to where they're going to be like, okay, do this. Now, we're not going to do all of these together right now. As a matter of fact, when it's time to do the 6 pages, some of these will be left blank. We just don't know which ones just yet. So what am I doing right now? I'm writing down number 2. And you can see the people who are absent today. When they come, some of it's going to seem kind of hard to them. And for you, you can be like, that's like a baby problem. All you have to do on this one is divide the 12. I feel so bad. I hope another math teacher says this is so wrong. It's like I'm saying it's a division problem when it is not. Let's put in here, they need their logs. Oh, that's so wrong. But again, whatever. At least I'll get the simple version right. What was the final answer on this one? I checked it up, but I didn't look at it. Was it 1 point something? For number 2? 1, 3? I'll go with that. 0, 3? 1.03. 1.03. Okay, not too bad. Logarithms. The inverse of an exponential function, that's what this is the logarithm. Alright, let's see. Oh, they only have one version, like number 9. So here's the deal. I'm going to have you attempt number 9. We'll see if some of you miss it, which I think you might. But here's the hint. You have to get rid of the 5 first before you do our little move here. In other words, before logs even get in the picture, you have to get rid of that 5. Why do you need to get rid of the 5? Because the problem has to begin with just a number raised to a power. If it's a number raised to a power, oh, this one's whack. Alright, yeah. Alright, scratch it now. Even our little move has been defeated. So numbers 1 through 8, our little move makes you feel all smart. Boom, that's cool. Number 9, I just got to do that one all together. It's, No. Let me give him a try. Do this. Attempt number 9 with my hint. Get rid of the 5 first. That's 5 times 18. 5 times 18. Get rid of the 5 first by doing the inverse of 5 times. This is going to be a little intense. I want you to try it and maybe even miss it so that you can see, okay, oh, that was supposed to happen. Instead of me just doing it on the board, if a teacher just does a problem, your brain goes like this. Step 1, step 2, whatever, step 3. If you try it and you miss it, your brain goes like, oh, that was it? So go ahead, try number 9. Try number 9. Again, 5.2. 5.2. Here's the 18 and the 6x. Now here's good news for some of you. This 18 raised to the 6x because that's the number that looks like what we're just doing. Where there's a number and a power. Let me back up so I can feel like, okay, well, yeah. There's the 12 to the r. We did the 12 on both sides. Then we did that little log thing. And it left us with just whatever the exponent was. In this case, it was just a big R. Whatever's on the other side. This part, some of you can probably do. So again, the 12 and the R is just like the 18 and the 6x. Yeah, that's going to be the last thing. You're going to have to divide that on both sides. That's 6 at the very end. But here's what some people are able to do. They know they're going to do this, the 18 thing is going to happen on both sides. They remember that. They know they're going to throw in a little log action on the top and the bottom. Some people are like, okay, yeah, I'm comfortable with that. But just like David said, okay, so what are you going to do with that extra 6? What are you going to do with that extra 6? Well, I'm going to tell you at the very end. The reason I wanted to throw this one in was I didn't want to be dishonest with you. by letting those first easy problems, like this one here, with the 12R, and you just put the 12 below and put log on it. I don't want to be dishonest to make you think that's how easy it's going to be. I just want you to get that part right. And then this part over here. What is the log 5.2 divided by log 18 give us? 25.7. 570, like that. 0.5 something. Oh, just 0.570. Okay, take a look at it. And again, I want you to feel the calculator is doing the work. It's your job just to put it in the right place. This equation, some of you may recognize, hey, I remember at the very beginning he did that 5 times x equals 25. The reason I did that is when the letter is on the same level as the number, like the 6 and the x, no one's flying in the sky. I just do regular math. It's only when it's up high that you have to do logs. Here it comes. How am I going to get rid of this 6 someone? Say it out loud. 6 times x, you do the opposite with the inverse. Alright. And again, it's all about the calculator. You can question a 0.570. Divide that thing by 6. I hear 0.0 who? 0.095 is what I hear. Someone else check that out just to make sure I don't write down. Alright. So the question that you normally ask is, what's the hardest part of this? All the steps. The real question is, what's the most important part of it to me? Do you know how to get an x down up top? Now, I did the shortcut version, which is still long. Let me see if I can grab one problem here. Let's see what they do with this one. Again, another long one. We're down to our last 2 problems. This one, and then I'll see if I can write one that looks almost exactly like a test like problem 2. Like, oh, okay, I can do that. Number 11. See if you can start number 11. My hint to you is first, you got to get rid of that plus 3 by doing the inverse of plus 3. So you got to get rid of that plus 3. Try 11. If you need more notebook paper, say you ran out. Number 11. I'm going to see who can help me get through this one. All right, here it comes. Hey, what's the first thing we're going to do with the 3? Yeah, no big deal. Get rid of the 3 first, and hopefully you start to see, like, okay, they can try and make it look tricky, but there's only so much you can do to mess these guys up. What's 81 take away 3, please? 78. Close, close, close. Can someone help what we're going to do next to get this n down? When stuff is floating on that, oh, I didn't even use a real word. I guess you can use it for the first time. Stuff that's floating in the sky, we know it's called an exponent. Anybody know what the big guy is on the bottom? What he's called? Numbers close. It's what the exponent is hooked onto. Yeah, the base. The base is always the low part in the car. When you play the bass, it's always at the bottom. It's the low part. So here, we're going to divide that 9 on both sides. As long as we write down the word log, and some people see why this unit is going to try to be hard. It's all about the steps. Somebody tell me what log 78 divided by log 9 is. I hear 1.98. Somebody else punch it in just so I can have 2 people say the same thing. Hey, look at this part here. Just this part here. We've done the hard part. Anybody want to ask something right now? Like, how did you know it's going to be 78 over the 9? Whatever the base is goes on the bottom.
So you just
And now the last part we got to do is the inverse of adding 10. Well, let's just subtract 10, so that's not like new high school stuff. The log is a new thing. When do I use the log? When there is the letter is in the exponent. I got to get it down. I did the long version first because, again, you got to technically know what's actually happening. But for now, the short version. All right, when we subtract 10 on both sides, what do we wind up with, please? A negative answer. That's no good. I mean, I don't like it. It's good. It's incorrect. Negative. Say it again. Negative who? 8.2. 8.1. 8.01 or 02?
02.
Take a look at it. We got one last problem to look at, but I want you to look at this one. The hint is you got to get rid of that 408 first, and that 408 is being multiplied by the 214. How do you get rid of something that's being multiplied? And they even switch sides on you. This one I will show you when it's time, but try something so that you can see, like, whoa, I could have gotten it. For some of you, but for some of you, like, okay, I want to show you. All right, this is your moment. Someone tell me how to get rid of the 408, please. I suck. Say again. Because it's 408 times, and that's why I started at the very beginning. Oh, what's the inverse of multiply? Oh, divide. What's the inverse of add? Oh, subtract. Because at the very beginning, you'll have to do those inverses. 408 times. Now, they use these big, ugly numbers because they know you're using a calculator, so they're not afraid of giving you big numbers. If you didn't get this part, please write it down. This is going to be a star problem. If you're on, you see something like this, and this is going to be one of your go-tos. What's 608 divided by 408? I mean, 600 divided by the 408? 1.47. Now, here's what I want you to see on this side. On this side, you're just left with your 214. Raised to the F. Now, here's where I'm happy. One of the first things we learned on here is the base raised to the power. You just use our shortcut. Someone has an answer. Tell me what I'm going to do with this 214 on both sides. Okay, I'm just going to divide both sides. And yes, some other math teacher, I'm going to be like, look, dude, what are you doing? You're not really dividing that 214. I'm going to save it down like, I know that. Step one, I'm going to let them learn the moves first. They'll get the moves right. What are we going to put in front of the 147 and the 214? Yeah, they don't see those moves. The math person is like, do they even understand what they're doing? No, they don't, but they're about to get the right answer. If you get the right answer on a test, then you get the points. Later on, I may back up and say, well, the logarithm, really what you were doing was this, that, and the other. But for now, just do the moves. Calculator, what's log 1.47 divided by log 14? 0.506. Here's so you at least have an idea of what this answer means. The question you were asked is, if I raise 214 to some number, then multiply it times 104, and rather 204, rather 408, it'll give me a 600. What's the number that I got to raise 214 to make all that happen? Well, the answer is, if I raise 214 to the power of 5.506, that will get me this 600 I need. So the question is always, what am I going to raise it to? What am I going to raise it to? And this is how you get it. Is it a lot of steps? Yeah. Can I get rid of the steps? No. The best thing I can do for you is say, step one, get rid of anybody else who's not connected. Once you get rid of anybody else who's not connected, you got a simple division problem. Now, here's the good news for you. This one only has two moves, and it's test-like. So if you can do these two moves, divide again, you're good to go. You'll get to see some more of these next time. I hope at least This move right here where you do the still divide thing. This is what I want you to go home with, like, yeah, I can do that. Alright.